Hey there everyone, Mazarok here, and today we're going to be talking about Guardian Druid in 10.1. We're going to be going over the tier stuff, a couple of builds that I've really liked and have had a lot of fun with along the way, and kind of what you guys can do to get started. Before we do get into it though, please do like, comment, and subscribe. It goes such a long way to helping out the channel. There's a Patreon link down below. This video is actually going to be out about 24 hours ahead of time for patrons. I have exclusive patron stuff, early access stuff, tank club stuff, a bunch of stuff goes up there for patrons. Go on by, check that out. There is a Discord link down below, a Twitch link down below to come watch me stream, and of course there is some merch. We've got Lazer Bear, I'm a tank too, Blood DK, I'm the healer now, and I only do Dungeons Fully Erect, along with WoW Pug Bingo and some other merch there as well. So go on by, check that out. All right, let's get into it with a quick disclaimer. I have done a beginner's guide to Guardian Druid, and everything still pans out 100% with that. So if you're looking for a more in-depth analysis on the beginner basics of it, I will link that video down below. This is going into specifically endgame 10.1 tier sets, builds around it, and everything like that. All right, so with that, let's get into the tier. So with 4-piece, the 2 and the 4-piece bonus, these are the things that are going to change. So, when you take damage, Mangle and Thrash damage and Rage generation are increased by 15% for 8 seconds, and you heal for 6% of the damage taken over 8 seconds. This is all damage taken over the course of 8 seconds, and that Mangle and Thrash damage are increased by 15%, as well as Rage generation. This is a very incredibly strong 2-piece, and is kind of a light band-aid for what's been going on with Bear, but Bear is also in a really good spot because of it. The 4-piece, Maul, and now I'm talented into Maul in this build, but this is Maul and Raze, so it's whether you take the talent or not, they're both affected. Damage is increased by 20%. Awesome! Casting Iron Fur or Maul Raze increases your maximum health by 3% for 12 seconds, stacking up to 5 times. So basically, in combat, a 15% bonus health pool, but that Maul Raze damage 20% is incredibly noticeable, and this has been a lot of fun to play with and work around, but this also works towards the physical aspects of Bear. So the build that I have been playing has been a lot more physical. Alright, for the build itself, this is the build that I've been kind of having a lot of fun with, but there's a lot of flex points that you can move around depending on how you want to play, how you want to do it. Now, this build does focus around healing pugs, which is utilizes Dream of Cenarius and Protector of the Pack. Now, if you do not want these talents, you can absolutely take them out and start going with something a little bit different, going for Innervate, going for Nature's Vigil. In fact, you get, like, I just put the point in a Forest Walk there because my last healer said that just like I have no need for Innervate. I have plenty of mana, so don't worry about it. So that's where I had Forest Walk here just to increase some healing received, and you know, hey, healing increased by 5% received. Cool. And movement speed, cool, for a short period of time, but it is a nice little bump up. But yeah, so this is kind of the main build that I have going on for Mythic Plus. I will be posting the build code in here. This opts for the more physical side of the traits, and as well, you're going to be wanting to take Earth Warden kind of when you start getting to a high enough level of a key. In low-level keys, the thing is when you deal direct damage with Thrash, you gain a charge of Earth Warden, reducing the damage of the next auto attack you take by 30%. Now, in lower keys, this isn't very big. In higher keys, this is absolutely huge because of the way that auto attacks scale, a higher level of key that you go, you're going to start seeing a lot more value out of this. But if you're in a +5, don't worry about it. I don't even really run it until I'm in 2021s. Like, it's kind of, once I start getting there and I notice I'm starting to take a lot of damage, then I'll start taking Earth Warden. But if you're just going into your first +2, 3, 4, 5, 10, whatever it is, you're not going to see a whole lot of value from this. Incarn, I love the fact that with aggressive play I can get 2-minute Incarn. Rage of the Sleeper is something that I have seen some people opt out of, so you can take Elun's Favored, Thorns of Iron, and Rage of the Sleeper straight out of the equation, although I really like Rage of the Sleeper, and I like Thorns of Iron because I found that since I've been starting to take this, well, the damage is so-so. I mean, it's average, it's not great, it's a talent point, but I'm not having any threat issues that I used to have with Bear. Right, you generate threat, get a couple of Iron Fur stacks right when you get in, and that does damage along with your other globals, because Iron Fur is off the global. I'm noticing I'm losing a lot less threat, and I can't exactly say that is the exact case, but there is a correlation there, since I was losing threat with some of my openers, and I was trying to figure out what to do to make that a little bit better. Started taking Thorns of Iron, so yeah, I'm not having that problem, so... But you can absolutely opt out of it. Now, a lot of people do like taking Raze as well. So the Raze damage will be increased by 20% with your 4-piece tier set, which replaces Maul. Now, we do have changes coming in 10.1.5 to the tree, and the spec tree is going to look different. It is currently live on PTR, but when that goes live, I'll have a different build for you there. We just don't know when 10.1.5 is coming out. Now, like I said, this is my own personal fun build, and this is what I've been doing to run keys, and I've been having a lot of fun with it, but this might not be for everyone. You can always go for Lazer Bear, which is still an incredibly strong option, getting your Moonfires out with Galactic Guardian, and all of that fun stuff there, taking Nature's Vigil, Heart of the Wild for increased magical damage, which is increased Moonfire damage, and go along there. But I think for a base setup for a physical build, if you do not want to play Laser, which a lot of people do and don't, it's completely up to you. It is kind of the meta choice right now, but it also requires a lot more attentiveness from you, the player, getting your Galactic Guardian procs to go off on the right targets and make sure that you're constantly spreading that. Cocaine Bear is Cocaine Bear. That just does a lot of healing. There are already packs this last week where I've hit 220k healing with Dream of Cenarius and Protector of the Pack over here. But what I really like about this build is it really does open things up to you being able to get into remove corruption. Being able to remove poison and curse effects is very strong in some of these dungeons. And Brackenhide, if some of the poisons get off from any of the gnolls, which is very, very nice. The remove curse off the last boss of Naltharis. And of course, there are some other instances along the way. I find this build has been actually a lot easier for me to go and grab it without losing anywhere near as much before, because with everything that you were playing before, the amount that you had to give up to get down to some of these things, I found was actually quite a bit. So I found this just to be a lot easier. What I have been doing is I've been getting rid of Improved Stampeding Roar, Innervate, and there's one more here that I'm just kind of drawing a blank on. Take that, take that. Oh yeah, I've been having to get rid of Ursal's Vortex for that there. Which really sucks. I really like Ursal's Vortex. But if you absolutely need the Dispel, it is the option that you can go there. But you can also get rid of Wild Charge. So this has been a dungeon by dungeon basis, where I usually don't like giving up Wild Charge. But unfortunately, it's kind of what you have to do sometimes. Is what it is. But this is kind of the core to the physical build that I've been running, and it has been a big blast. One of the things as well is if you are opting out of Dream of Cenarius, you can opt out of Flashing Claws if you want. Go Pulverize and Circle of Life and Death if you've got the extra points to kind of move around and kind of take maybe... Now, Pulverize is... I really wish they would rework this talent, but... here we go, right? But those are some of the talent builds that you can opt. I really like this physical version of Bear. The rotation is fun. I feel incredibly strong. I do lots of healing. I do lots of party healing as well with Dream of Cenarius. This thing every 20 seconds with Pugs has been a lay on hands. I have seen it just absolutely crank out critical healing, getting people up from 10% to 100 pretty much instantly. How this has absolutely been a pug saver for me in keys. But if you're running in an organized group, you can start, and that with players that are, avoiding a lot of avoidable damage, things get a lot easier, right? So you might not need this, but I found with dealing with some of the pugs that I've been dealing with over the last week and a half, this has seen a lot of use. But yeah, and you can kind of but you can flex into certain things and out of certain things a lot easier. If you don't want this, you instantly gain some talent points, some extra defensive, some extra damage. What do you want? I do like Circle of Life and Death because it does affect your Thrash Bleed, which is really, really nice. So, which, gains more rage. But with the rage generation from the 2-piece, I have not had a single issue with rage generation at all. It's been really, really nice, and Bear has been a lot of fun. I will be posting build codes for both of those links down below. Let me know what you guys think. But that is kind of it for Guardian Druid. I've been having a lot of fun with it. I have been preferring Maul over Raze because the single target is really, really good, and yeah, it's just, I'm having a blast with it, man. I am liking the fact that in 10.1.5, Raze and Maul are going to be separate, but I really want the Raze and Maul talents, like Tooth and Claw, Vulnerable Flesh, to still affect both, but we'll see where they go with it. 10.1.5 is going to be a pretty exciting time for Guardian Druid whenever we do see the final form of that tree. But yeah, what do you guys think? Let me know. There's a lot of different ways to play Bear right now. I'm noticing quite a few variant builds out there. Play to your strengths, what you like doing, what you want to be doing. And like I said, this specific build might not be for you. There are different builds if you want to lean more into physical, if you want to lean more into magical. Where do you want to go with things? If you want to kind of hybrid it up a little bit, you can still kind of move things around and do that with a couple of key points. Galactic Guardian being the central key point around Lazer Bear, and of course Blood Frenzy and Urzok's Fury. This is the central key point around physical. This is your main damage mitigation. If you're not getting Moonfire healing, you are preventing damage with Urzok's Fury, and we're going from there. Well, thank you very much for listening, everyone, and I hope you're enjoying 10.1 as much as I am. It has been an absolute blast to play, and come on by, check me stream. I'm streaming all tanks. I've got 4 KSMs so far on 4 tanks. I'm working on the other 2. And then go from there. Well, thank you very much, everyone. Have yourself a good one. Happy tanking. Bye.